Hi everybody,
Hi, every spirit.
welcome to mine's and Daarya's podcast, Spirit to Wall. Welcome once again, or welcome if it is your first time. Your support is greatly appreciated. We wish you the best thoughts,
Ideas
feelings,
and emotions.
a whole bunch of individuality,
Creativity.
and some responsibility.
Oh, yes.
Remember to support this YouTube channel. Remember to support Daarya's YouTube channel. The links are in the description down below. You can also support us financially through the links in there as well. And a huge shout out to our Soul Group, to everybody out there changing the world by being themselves and by showing to themselves and to others around them that the best way to be is to be your goddamn self. Alright? And we are here once again,
Indeed.
ready to make spirit available to all. Space, clarity, individuality, uniqueness, and developing on some like words and shit as well, because me and Daarya, we have Aquarius energy, so we like to like explore on the words as well, the roots and what the words really mean.
Real shit. Because you always have space and spirit available to you. You just
Always.
have to realize.
True. Yeah, and sometimes I'm just here talking about the words. Sometimes you use certain words that blocks your vision, blocks. You have
The whole
a
totality.
whole space, you have a kilometer of space, and you think you only have 200 meters,
Yeah,
things
that
like
is
that.
good to measure certain things. That is why we limit and create boundaries to measure, to practicalize and make sense out of things. But what are we making sense out of? Our space, our spirit, and the things that we create from that space of all possibilities.
So, I think we're ready to start with the first topic as well.
Yes, we are.
Remember, you can comment about the topics,
Yeah.
you can suggest new topics.
Remember to share with someone that you think would
Yeah.
enjoy this content, as well as maybe you have some question that you yourself are interested in our response. So make sure to or DM us or comment. It's
Yeah.
always possible
Or-
to respond.
And if you want any like questions or you want us to explore a bit more that topic, just leave them on the comments down below or email us using the email in the description down below.
And just one little thing we don't ask, but it's something very important. Remember to like if you enjoyed this video. Remember to subscribe also to EsotericCloudSurfer or my page if you enjoy this content. And we can start with the first topic of the day.
Which is how to get tired. Okay? So here is more defining what tired really is.
Mhm.
It's not really how to get tired. Do this, do that.
How do you get tired?
Yeah, it's more about that. And for a starter, I'm going to explain the two ways you can be tired. All right? So you have the quote-unquote good way and quote-unquote bad way, right? So you always experience, right? Even when you go to sleep, your spirit, the moment your spirit is aware of itself and of its surroundings, your spirit is experiencing. So by default, you're gonna experience, okay? And being or getting tired is just the accumulation of activity, of experiencing, of thinking, of feeling, okay? Okay, so that's what tired is, okay? But in physical terms, what we associate more being tired is like lack of energy, lack of patience, you don't want to do that again, right? So, but we have a good way to be tired is when you do an activity, you worked out a lot, or you were at your work, but you enjoyed doing it,
Or you were doing a painting or some form of activity that you enjoy doing?
you feel tired, but it's not like bad. It's not like, oh, fuck this shit.
Yeah.
It's more like, oh, I love this
It's
shit.
not a dusty tired. It's
Yeah.
not a out of breath,
True.
not knowing how to breathe tired, for example. It's more of a consistency, and I believe that's what you're trying to say. It's a more of a replenished and strong, tired of you feeling strong in your routine, what you did, what you are doing, and your goals, and the things that you are doing right now and that you want to do power you, and you power yourself by having all those imaginations and motivations. And so when you get onto a resting space, you are able to feel that tiredness. You maybe feel sore or like
true.
body pain coming to that point. Not talking about the mental, because mentally you might not feel tired, right? You might feel tired more physically, or if you feel tired mentally, it's more of a resting time. You know, you have to detach and really internalize the experience you went through, right?
So we have these two ways, good and bad. So the good way is what we were explaining. Basically, is you do something and you feel physically tired, as Daarya was saying, or mentally or emotionally tired, but you also feel satisfied.
Mm-hmm.
You also feel fulfilled.
Yeah.
And the bad way to get tired is just you just feel tired, and then you feel like fuck this shit, I hate this shit, I hate this job, whatever.
Yeah.
You know.
And the most interesting thing, sorry,
No,
to
no, that's
interrupt
okay.
you, is that many times what I see, not always, because there are always exceptions, when people get that type of, dusty tired, or tired of living, or tired of doing a certain thing that you don't like, or not enjoying the outcome, you overindulge on something.
True.
Or you go on to filling your space with entertainment, or with food, or with things that fulfill you at the moment, but not long term, kind of.
Yeah.
So that was kind of like a little
Parenthesis.
parenthesis I had when you said that.
Okay. So, coming back to point, we have the good way to be tired and the bad way to be tired. The good way is when you get tired, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, but what you are doing and how, most importantly, how you were doing was fulfilling. You got something back. Money, validation from yourself or others, depends what you're looking for. You got support, you got a good conversation, an inspiration, a stronger feeling to extend you through reality, or you were just throwing your energy away. You were just throwing your imagination, belief, faith, physical energy, emotionally energy. You were just throwing that away, and then you feel angry, you feel frustrated, you want your energy back, and that's how you get tired in the bad way. So my 2 points here is you always have to experience, you will always be tired, you know, that's a thing.
Because as you expend energy, or as you spend the energy that you create and that you gather, you are putting it to flow and receiving something back, right? So when you are putting more out than you receive back, or what you receive most time, you will receive the outcome of your actions.
Yeah, always.
But the thing
well.
is, what you receive is not fulfilling enough for you to feel tired in a good way, or in the best
true.
way for you to go on and continue doing what you're doing, or in the better way. In the wrong way, you might go backwards and stop doing something, or retreat, and really, which many times may be good, and is good, because your spirit is saying, this shit ain't shit. I'm not experiencing anything. I'm not expressing myself, or nothing that is fulfilling for me and my spirit. So let me detach from all that I'm doing in order for me to get back on my feet, or to get back on something that I like, even if it means starting from zero, or starting
below zero.
below zero, when you are so frozen, or you freeze yourself almost to death, so you can acknowledge that you have a heartbeat, that you are able to breathe, that you never paid attention to your breathing, for example. And now you have a time for you to realize that you have all these tools for you to use. You don't you don't need to expect someone to give you something, right, if you don't tell them, or if you don't act on that, right? So that's how you can then deal with that frustration of not getting something back, or not getting your needs met, not getting your work acknowledged, right?
Yeah.
By putting in the work in the right spaces,
True.
in the right places for your spirit.
And sometimes it's just about you validating yourself and you fulfilling and acknowledge yourself. If you get tired in the wrong way, it means what the body, mind, and the emotions are doing do not correspond what the spirit really wants to do.
Mhm.
And you might be doing the right thing but in the wrong way.
Yeah.
So just to finish the topic, we have these 2 points. You always experience, you always get tired, but then you have the good way to get tired. You expend your energy on something that gives you profit, spiritually speaking, okay?
Yeah.
And then you just throw your money away into gambling or whatever, and you lose all of your energy.
Yeah, and that's a good point of gambling, because you will expect, or you're like there, you know you might get nothing, and you know you might get $1 million, so you're just gambling, throwing your money away, which in a sense is like you expecting from the universe to give you something while you're giving a energy that might not even correspond to that which you want to receive, for example.
True. So make sure you get tired in the right way, because that's how you expand on your creativity or on individuality or on your career. You expand yourself. Sometimes you even you sleep less amount of hours, but you feel energized. You still you were working all day, and then you slept 4 hours, but you wake up refreshed and even better than the last day, because you got very tired physically, but spiritually you got a lot of energy back.
Yeah, and especially if you, like, for example, work on a work or a job that is owned by someone else, right? You're working there just to get your certain needs met, or money and things like that for your own projects. You come back home and you play your guitar, or you are recording some videos, you play some games and you record that, or you play with someone that you like playing with, and you go to sleep with a even more fulfilled spaceship than you just coming back home and not doing anything, for example.
Yeah, so then that's actually a good ramification of this point, which is the illusion of resting, because many people just look at that in a physical way. Oh, I came out of work. This is a good example, because many people work, but they are trying to get their creativity going on, right? So many people come from work tired, and they think they need to spend the rest of their day in the couch because they need to cook, they need to organize this, that, and third, and then they have time to rest. And then they think they should sit in the couch or watch a movie or watch a show.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's needed. Sometimes you really need to do that.
Yeah.
Keep that in mind. But many times you need to rest spiritually, aka you do the rest.
Yeah.
You were working from 8 to 5. Then you were organizing your stuff from 6 to 8. And then you rest. You go out of the physical responsibilities into the spiritual responsibilities, aka creativity, or sharing your passions, or sharing your mind with the world, right? So your spirit went from one space, work, and even your body, to another space, creativity. So you are resting, you are doing the rest. So that will make you feel way more alive, fresh, and young and rejuvenated than sleeping the whole day.
Real shit, because that is something that you that should be the purpose you are working on that job, right?
True, that job is supporting that. It should be like that, yeah.
It's not only supporting your living
your
conditions,
house, the water bills,
how much food you got,
because all of that supports the creativity.
Exactly.
Yeah, because I remember somebody saying that the first step to being really spiritual is to be rich, aka having creativity, and then having enough money or skills to not worry about your survivability, so then you can worry about really living and creating stuff for yourself.
Real shit, because if you go to work only just to work, or somebody from your family is pressuring you to work because you sit on your couch all day, or for example you have all your creativity going on. You have everything, but you are not working. So there might be like pressure from your parents or
Yeah.
something telling you have to work. Why? And you ask like them, why should I work? And because you ain't doing shit, or you ain't receiving that enough money to support yourself or whatever. So then you have to really be able to have, by you having that creativity going on, if you go to work, if there is that if there
That
is
purpose.
that purpose, you can do that for that purpose instead of you going to work because your parents said so,
or just
for
because
example.
you don't feel safe enough
Yeah.
physically.
Because that can detriment your creativity, that can
And
really,
it's just your living
yeah,
in
because
general.
your purpose, you are directing that towards my parents, or
Or the money.
the money, yeah,
Or the stability.
or I'm doing
safety,
something
yeah.
that people can see.
And relate with
Yeah.
I'm organized and
Yeah,
shit like that.
yeah. So really be purposeful with your intention for your works, and for how you
Yeah.
get tired, how you expend your energy and your currency. Because by you having creativity, it's your currency. Your own individuality is your currency. How you flow, how you move in the spaces that you go in, no matter where, and what circumstance, in what space, you go there with your own space, with your own spaceship, with your own mentality, with your own light, and you are able to bring your currency into the spaces and progress much further than the people that go there because people told them to, because that is a limitation that was quote unquote placed on them, because I say quote unquote because they accepted that limitation upon them. So
to finish this topic and the ramification of it, sometimes it's better to you rest spiritually, you do something else that it's good and profitable for you physically and spiritually, and that will make you feel more rested than sleeping the whole day. Okay? But then in some days you really need to sleep the whole day. So keep that in mind.
Exactly. And that's when we talk about all the moon transits and
True.
how we just move spiritually. We'll always,
each day is a day. Each day is a experience, a travel, a battle, a ride.
And not only it is a ride, but it's a new ride. It's
True.
something new each and every moment. So keep that in mind, and
as well,
make sure to go with your experiences fresh and not projecting your past onto the future.
So let's conclude this first topic, and let's jump to the second topic. It's time to a topic change.
It's a topic change. It's a topic change. It's a topic change. Second topic. It's a topic change. It's a topic change. Second topic.
Yeah. All right. So, second topic today is the title, or it's not really the title. I couldn't come up with a title for this, so I'll read you a small description, which is: sometimes when you experience flunked out things, it means you are detaching from a flunked out space. Okay? And many times this is marked or visible through light flunked outness. Okay? You are streaming and your PC disconnects from the internet for no reason, or your phone falls from the floor to the floor, but it doesn't break, or it just breaks a little bit, or you are like about to pay your groceries and you are missing like 20 cents and the people let you go. That type of light flunked outness. It means that your spirit is already in a more clear, fresh, light space, to more access to all possibilities.
So it's not as serious.
True. But your mind, emotions and body are still traveling, are still transiting, still phasing from the flunked out space to the clear space.
Yeah, because there is always a transition from whatever space you go, because
we
you
always
travel.
transiting.
Yeah, indeed.
We're always transiting, the transits in the sky.
Real shit.
The transit in the city.
Yeah, because first we project, we create an image and we transit, we
yeah,
travel,
we go there.
we go there, we experience that by ourselves. So
Oh, I
indeed.
just got an idea for a painting. I'll keep it in secret and do it and show it to the world later.
Beautiful.
So yeah, this second topic is just like so for you to not take the quote-unquote bad outcomes so seriously, and if those type of things happen and they're like funny and you might not laugh externally, but you laugh internally, and you feel that people around you are also kind of like joking with you, but like kind of heart-lighted, and you are taking things heart-lighted as well. It means you are gaining, or you are coming to a space of clarity, and that means that your spirit is already there. So
Indeed.
that's actually good, and you should take those moments to like laugh about yourself, laugh about the world, and not be so serious, not be so attached to these things that we are just using, you know.
Real shit. Because those experiences really is you looking at the situation from a more expanded perspective, from a more even detached. You can detach
because your spirit is already there.
Yeah, it's not so many confusion, because that could happen to somebody else, but they might go through a different experience and take that very seriously, and that might be a disaster for them, their reputation and things like that. So really enjoy those little moments, really go through it and have a laugh, even show that to the
others,
people,
so they can be lighter as well.
Yeah, because if you have that want to laugh, just laugh.
And that happens a lot with who has Venus in the 5th house.
Yeah.
You relate your expressions and your actions and your mistakes. You relate them in a more light, entertaining and funny way. And by you showing that to others around you, they also feel lighter to just open up and tell that story when they were really dumb, but that was super funny. And they actually learned something from it.
Or saying something, or saying that situation.
But they are kind of ashamed to share that to everybody else, aka the 11th house. But you, personally, fire, 5th house, connection, you related your light flunkedoutness to them, so they're gonna relate maybe their heavy flunkedoutness, but in a lighter way, and you both laugh, and you show each other that it's okay, you secure, you got yourself, those mistakes are normal, and they actually improve your perspective about life.
Real shit. And they might even then say that story to their children on the dinner table or something,
and
like, oh, today
that
this
guy's
happened.
Cool.
Oh, do you know that guy? I saw him on that other day. He was a little flunked out. We laughed and shit. Even bettered my day, you know.
It lightened my day.
So really really just be with yourself on any moment, and go through any transition and let yourself heal fully, so you don't scar yourself through the transitions.
You brand yourself.
Because then that creates traumas, and you have to heal that and things like that. So make sure, as you are more conscious, as you are more aware, consciously and subconsciously, you are able to really go through the travels and the transitions in the most present way with yourself, with your spaceship, with the spiritual ships around you and within you, so you are able to create a better experience for yourself and the ones around you.
True. And I think that's a very good conclusion for the second topic.
Let's go.
Let's change. Let's go into the
third. Hey, it's the third topic. 3. It's the 3. It's the third topic. Topic change. Yeah.
Let's go.
Third topic
of today. You want to present it, or you want me to? I can present. Okay.
Let's go.
So third topic of today is, it's a very exciting one as well. Reality is not spirituality, but everything that is real came from spirituality. Okay, and then we can explore this topic via the fire element and the following notion that, and I quote myself, everything that is real came from and it is spiritual, but not everything spiritual becomes real. But we can still see it and feel it using the fire element, or the fire element principle is also just what we logically being aware of that ability called fire element. Okay, so the fire, the name fire or the expression fire element is just we saw that we were able to do this that I'm about to explain, and then we call that.
Mm-hmm.
And then in Greece they call it pyro, and in Egypt they call it something, and in Arab they call it rashkalabala, in Jewish they call it krukba, and you know, every different names. But it's just like, imagine shooting a ball. When you're playing football, it's like kicking the ball in English. Then in Portuguese is rematar. In French is remater, something like that. So it's the same action, but it has different terms. It's like this. It's the same thing. But what is that action that I'm talking about? Or not action, in this case it's an ability. Is the ability to, using the what we call the fire element, you create an image, you create a vision, you create a feeling, you create a status that you want to achieve, you create a living condition that you want to achieve, right? And then you can see that, you can feel that, you can imagine how it will be to be in those situations, but that doesn't become real. Okay? But we have things that are real. The chair I'm sitting on, the microphone I'm using, the house I'm living in, your house, your bathroom, the shit that you take in your bathroom. That is real. Right? And now we use the mirror. So, not everything that we imagine and create as spirits becomes real. And even not every travel that you do as a spirit becomes real as well. It doesn't manifest into real circumstances. But everything that is real, once upon a time, spiritual. And how I connect this fire element philosophication is we have many people on the internet, new agers and whatever, and conscious community and truth seekers. They use reality to explain spirituality, or they be like, do this to be spiritual, or 7 ways to know you are a spiritual person, 7 ways you know you are going through a spiritual awakening, 5 ways to know you are a star child, 6 ways to know you are an indigo child, you know. And they be using like the color of your eyes, your ancestors, the type of food you eat, or the things like that, you know, and they associate that with spirituality. So what they are doing is, what they're saying with all of that, the space they are coming from is your reality, the things that you do with your body represents your spiritual state. And no, it's the other way around. Your spiritual state manifests, drives, reigns of, leeches, transforms or into reality. But reality is a smaller part. It's just a reflection of the spiritual realm.
Yeah. So
you know?
Saying that doing this or that makes you spiritual is saying that certain things or the majority of things, let's say, are not spiritual or are not, in a sense,
true, because if you do
come
them
from spirituality.
Because if you do them, you're not spiritual.
Yeah, or you drink alcohol,
you're not spiritual. Yeah.
And things like that are so wrong by default, because then they are by default saying that there is there are things that are not from spirit, And
True.
it is faulty by default.
True, that's a good perspective about it as well,
Mhm.
that I wasn't thinking. That's like the principle of exclusion.
Mhm.
They'd be like, to be spiritual, you have to drink 10 gallons of water. So if you don't, you're not spiritual in their perspective. So that's very
Yeah,
limiting,
yeah.
you know?
Just by default, basing certain things on reality, which is limitation in itself, reality. So you, by basing certain things on the reality as spiritual or not, is not.
True. And the fire element proves that.
Yeah.
The fact that we have the ability to imagine
Mhm.
and create
something
yeah,
new and
doesn't mean that you can drink 10 gallons of water and I don't, or you can
Mhm.
meditate 10 hours a day and I
Mhm.
don't, but I still create better imaginations.
yeah, yeah.
I still act in my
Mhm.
individuality,
Yeah, real
you
shit.
know. So that
Mhm.
proves, or the fact that I can imagine myself in a better way, that person that meditates 10 hours a day,
Mhm.
that proves that spirituality goes beyond reality.
Yeah, real shit.
And
And
it's not by doing things in reality that
Yeah.
you prove
Yeah.
or get spiritual.
real shit, because your spirit is powerful enough to create a circumstance and
Yeah.
situation in a second,
Mhm.
in a space where there is no time, and then it in itself creates that time, that limit and boundary, and you can create that in a second while
Yeah.
someone is doing rituals and spells and spending their whole day at their holy table
Yeah.
wishing
True.
upon a star, and nothing or happens but in 10 years,
Yeah.
20 years, and it's not even that fulfilling
Yeah, it's not that
as
fresh,
it can
that
be for
exciting.
you,
Yeah.
because you did it in the moment, in that presence,
Yeah, real shit.
in the presence of your own spirit and all possibilities.
Yeah. So, reality is not spirituality, but everything that is real came from spirit, came from spirituality.
Mm-hmm.
But defining or saying that you are, or saying that somebody is not spiritual based on reality or real things
Mm-hmm.
is faulty. And the fire element, aka our ability to imagine and create new things, even if we don't do any of that stuff, proves exactly that.
Mm-hmm. Real shit. And what you
Infinitely.
by you being a spirit, you are unique and individual. There is no other space like yours because you have
True.
your own space. So by you having your own space, you have a unique perspective, you have unique interests and abilities that you are always shifting and shaping and creating
Yeah.
new ways to go. So always go about your world uniquely as you are and accept that, and show others how it is good to be your goddamn self.
Indeed.
Because that's the only way for you to be fulfilled.
Yeah. And this also proves or shows to you that is through our spiritual powers, through our faith, belief, imagination, and creativity, through our will and intentions, that we shape reality around us. It's not reality, our upbringing, our physical conditions, it's not even our mind or our feelings that determines what we can or can't do,
Real
what
shit.
we can or can't imagine,
Yeah.
what we can't or cannot achieve.
Mm-hmm.
It's your spirit and your ability to use fire, to use imagery, to use imagination, to use magic, imagination.
Mm-hmm.
You, the individuality, the body, the things that your spirit creates, nation. And magi is like magic, and nation is a shape and form,
Mm-hmm.
a limit and boundary.
Yeah.
So you use your light and you use magic, the ability to manipulate,
Mm-hmm.
to make it into a certain shape and form.
Mm-hmm.
So you take your imagery, you take your fire, your quote unquote photons and shit like that, right? And you create something new, different, and unique. And then that turns into reality, that merges with reality. It's not your reality that makes your spirit bounded or limited, you know.
Yeah, you put in the work on your
True.
imaginations.
And I think that is a good conclusion for this fourth topic,
Yeah,
for this third
third.
topic. And we're going to follow up to the last and fourth topic of today's Spirit to All session.
Hey, what you say, what you say? It's already the fourth topic. It's already the fourth topic of the day, of the Sunday.
All right. So, fourth topic of today is conscious versus subconscious versus unconscious. So, we are just here to, in this specific topic, to differentiate, to separate, and to be able to say, hey, that's conscious. Hey, that over there, that's subconscious. And that there is unconscious. Okay? I'm not going to explain in huge detail, but we're gonna give a clean, normal explanation that even a 3-year-old can understand.
Yeah.
Right? So, you are a spirit. Your own unique space, your own unique entity of power, of will, of creation. You are a creator, right? And then you created a mind, emotions, bodies, ideas, feelings, right? And you are aware of those things that you created because you created them, right? So you are aware of them. And you are aware of your surroundings or of a percentage of your surroundings. Physically, through your eyes, through your ears, through your nose. Emotionally, via feelings, vibes, intuition, premonition, clairvoyance. And mentally, via logically counting, predicting stuff, making assumptions, joining the facts. And spiritually, what we call tingling senses, the spider senses, the sixth sense, your
Intuition.
but because then that's another topic we have because in today's age, intuition is very associated with
The
feelings, not with emotions, with like catching vibes and catching feelings. But you are right, intuition is more spiritual, is more clear, is not so much
Yeah.
watery, okay? But we can also work that topic on another day where we differentiate that more. And for us to really understand the differences between conscious, subconscious, and unconscious, we have to look at that from the most pure space. When you are a spirit, or when you are just a spirit with no body or with fewer bodies around you. So, before you existed, you were unaware
Because
of
you
yourself.
don't have a way to be
Yeah.
aware or a
You didn't create anything yet.
Yeah.
Because the first thing you create is the awareness of yourself. And subtopic, another topic that we can also explore, and that's our main reason to exist as a spirit that created a logical mind. We are trying to explain how we create something out of nothing. That's why we created science, and that's why we created things that allow us to explain stuff. Because we want to understand as spirits how we create something out of nothing. So we stop creating some bullshit.
Yeah,
you
we
know?
start to create some religion,
Yeah,
some
and we'll be like,
doctrines.
how I created this.
And then they call back, go to associating spirit with fire,
Through
with the element itself.
And in some religions, the breath.
Yeah, which is in itself already the fire. It's
True.
the same.
Or in some religions, the light.
Yeah, which is the fire.
But fire, it's all
the
yeah,
same. It's
all
all
the
that
same.
creation, and you
But
are
even
not the
that is
creation.
wrong.
Exactly.
Because fire is something that spirits do.
It's exactly.
It's not the spirit.
Yeah.
Like
exactly.
I breathe, but I'm not the breath.
Yeah. You basically calculating and limiting and trying to structure, call it something that's already taking the whole thing
that's
away.
already happening. but that's another topic as well.
Yeah,
Okay.
indeed.
So then you are a spirit not existing because you are not aware of yourself. Then you become aware of yourself and you start to exist. And then you become aware of your surroundings and of other spirits around you, and then you can connect with them, and then you can create stuff and worlds to go in together. So, being unconscious, or something that is unconscious to you, is when you, as a spirit, you are not aware of that thing as a spirit, of yourself or of that specific space, because we are living living inside of a space, spaces within spaces, and there is infinite spaces, because spaces are being born right now, new spaces,
all the time.
so it's impossible for one spirit to be aware of every spirit, because even if you are aware of every spirit, a new spirit will be born, and then that one spirit you are not aware of, and you need to expand in order to be aware of that spirit, and then another spirit gets created in the meanwhile. So you always will be unaware of some spirits and some things, but then there is a confusion between subconscious and unconscious. Many people call the unconscious the subconscious, and it's not true. They are two different things, because what is subconscious is something that your spirit is aware, your spirit is or was experiencing it and riding in it or above it, but your mind, your logical mind, is not aware of it, or it is, but it can't process it,
or it can't structure it.
Yeah. So it leaves it in the corner for when it's stronger to come back and process it. So, and then what is conscious to you is things that you can logically, physically
interpret,
perceive,
create,
touch, weight, and
you
speculate about
you can
physically.
You can create a formula to do something, a
True.
cake, anything.
Or you know that touching the fire will burn your finger.
Yeah.
That's conscious.
Yeah.
And then subconscious, this is actually a good example.
Yeah.
Subconscious is you never touched fire before, but you feel that if you touch it, something bad's gonna happen. You don't know that you're gonna get burned. You don't know what being burned is, but you know something will happen. That's subconscious.
Real shit.
But if you are a very fresh and recent spirit, you are unaware of that. You are unconscious, so you go straight into the fire and burn.
Exactly.
So that means that what is subconscious to you but not conscious, that means that you already experienced that as a spirit, but not in this present life with this present mind. So we have and what is unconscious to you is something that you never experienced spiritually.
Yeah, you haven't been aware to process it, or to be able to even make some form of conclusion or some form of expectation, or a learning lesson, for example. So it really is about you, because if you are not experienced enough to the point where you create this fire that we can see in this world, for example, you can touch fire, that fire, this type of way for the elements to unite and create that fire that we see in the fireplaces, is something that exists way for a long time. It's something that spirits very ancient or quite experienced, or that have been here for eons, or just a few thousand years, were able to create and created together. So they pass down, and many spirits that are here right now have that experience from all those times that
and that's
they have
what
created.
Many people call the Akashic records.
Yeah.
And that's subconscious, and we share that. That's a lot about
shit.
Neptune and Pisces.
Real shit, because then don't forget about the genetic codes of your body. That's something that through generations, the spirits from your bloodline, let's say,
quote unquote,
because we are all muds, right? We all came together and separated and came together again. Everybody fucked together and just created a whole bunch of hybrids, in a sense. And we all have this shared experience through the body that we live in. So all that unlocking of the genetic codes may appear with generational curses and a whole
Even
bunch
diseases.
a whole bunch of memories that are very
True.
useful for you
Fears.
to craft and shit like
Or
that.
fears.
But fears, and a lot of generational traumas as well, because those are usually the ones that block us. And by us, like, let's by unlocking, by us being able to see our body from a more expanded perspective, we are able to see the genetic codes, right? Our the manifestation of all the experiences that our quote unquote ancestors went through, and be able to see those and to unveil those and be more consciously aware of.
True. And that's a great point, because all of those memories and experiences and know-hows that our ancestors experienced and left behind, that we can access.
Yeah.
Quote unquote, there's esoteric library, quote unquote, the Akashic records. That's subconscious.
Yeah.
Because your spirit can access it.
Yeah. And
Okay.
your spirit has resonated enough to be in that specific body.
And that what many people call genetic or DNA activation.
Yeah.
When you consciously be aware, oh, I have that power. Oh, I can do that. Oh,
I have that fear. I have this creativity.
Yeah. Oh, I have that dream.
Oh, I have this knowledge.
Yeah. That's all DNA activation. It's your mind realizing, oh, my creator, aka the spirit, already knew that.
Yeah.
So if I was created from the spirit, I already know that.
Yeah.
That's subconscious. And conscious, it's something that not even you or the spirits around you in a specific space know.
Exactly.
And when you as a spirit break that barrier and you go straight to unconscious to conscious, straight away, you bring something that nobody, no spirit before seen, felt or reflected on. You bring a huge wave.
And that's like a fucking
A
lightning
supernova.
strike.
Yeah, that's a
real shit.
And bro, that's because a supernova, it's actually a very good example.
Yeah, it's
because
when a star...
it's a huge explosion. Yeah, it's when a star dies, a huge explosion. And what is a star? A star is a big ass creation of a big ass spirit, a powerful ass spirit. So, and that's actually very related to the theory of electronical levels, of how electrons stay in different distances. That's why it is called quantum science, because it's in terms of quantification. And you have different electronic levels, level 1, level 2, and then in each level it's like only 2 electrons can be on the first level. Like in the nucleus of the atom, you have the proton and the neutron. Then you have these 2 electrons, they get really close. Then you have the second level, third level, and it's called quantum because you quantify the necessary amount of energy to maintain the electron there, or to exalt, and the electron goes to another level. And if it in the travel, it exerts energy, and that's how we collect electricity. Actually, that's how photovoltaic panels work. That's
by
how
stimulating and
that's how neutrons work. It's by exciting those electrons, and they move and they release a charge. And then they can jump from level 1 to level 6, or from level 1 to level 2. And depending on the charge of the quantum quantity of the charge of energy that they received, they can go to level 3 and stay there, or they can go to level 3 and come back to level 1. Because they exalted too much energy, so that they don't have energy to come back. Because the further away they are from the nucleus, the more energy, the more connection they need to have.
Expand to stay there.
Because if they go further away with less energy, they're gonna go away, and then they just go away, and the atom becomes an ion, more individual. Ion. So, because the scientists were spirits in a body, so science is spirituality, but spirituality is not science. But that all represents that the supernova is like a spirit that was supercharged. It's an electron that received a super high charge. Because it was such a big spirit, it accumulated such big experiences, like we can't even imagine. We are living in a star. We are living in a fucking body. Many people are stuck in the mind, in a feeling, in a chakra. We can't really imagine as humans, but I'm not human. When I go to sleep, I go there.
Real shit.
You know?
When I meditate, I go there.
Or I'm taking a shit sometimes, I go there.
When I'm taking a shower.
True. So, that spirit, because in order to create a star, that needs to be a big ass spirit. And big ass spirits, they have big ass power, big ass dreams, big ass imaginations, big ass actions and visions and shit like that. So when that spirit dies, and that's all about Scorpio, fixed water, you fixate water, you accumulate a lot of water in the same space, and then it explodes. It breaks the limit. Mars, Pluto, they both rule Scorpio, right? So that spirit accumulated so much, it created a big ass star. When he transforms, the spirit leaves, and there is not enough will to contain and care about that pressure, about that creation.
Yeah.
Boom.
Real shit. Yeah. Real shit.
And that spirit goes from, he knew, bro, because we have to think about like Saturn or the sun, especially Saturn. It knows everything about this realm. Everything. Pluto, Uranus, and Neptune, they already got the spirit already gone, but the bodies are still following, and it connects to the first topic of today. When you detach from a flunk space to a new space, the body still goes after it and transits. So the Uranus, Pluto, and Neptune, the spirit that created those bodies, is already on a new space, more unique space. But Neptune, which is the body, and Pluto and Uranus, they are the body of certain spirits. They are still going there. But the spirit went from level 1 to level 6. It went from knowing everything, being super conscious, and then it went from vroom, straight to unconscious. To
something else.
Total darkness.
New.
And then they are so powerful that they can create consciousness super fast.
Birth.
They don't need to go through hell, subconscious, detaching, not knowing what's going on, because they're more powerful.
Exactly. Real shit.
And then to finish things up, in a subtopic of this topic, we have, in a quote-unquote normal world, there would not be such a degree of difference and separation between conscious and subconscious. And I think there is a great channel on YouTube called Mind Unveiled, where they talk about many times that what people call the dark ages or the medieval ages, the real world and the dream world were the same. And that's, in my perspective, super true, because that's how animals, especially sea creatures, see the world.
Are in that state.
They are in water, in the real world, but they are at the same time living in their imagination world. If you take one fish out of the schooling and you put it on the fish tank, they still share in the same world. Physically they are apart, but spiritually and mentally they are sharing the same world. So it was true back then, because what we call humans, were also more animalistic. But how we are right now, how our society is right now, is not necessarily good. We are too left-brain. We are too masculine. And we can see our females, our beautiful girls, are getting very masculine. Right? And we are losing that, not my soul group, but the masses, they are losing touch with the subconscious. Because there was a separation, a rift. Moses split the Red Sea with his staff. Okay? So now we think that the conscious and the subconscious is different, but it's not.
Real shit.
Because the conscious and the subconscious, the spirit is aware of both. And then the mind can only be aware of the conscious.
Real shit.
But the true difference is between conscious, subconscious, and unconscious. So we can group conscious and subconscious in the same pocket, in the same bubble, in the same space, and then unconscious, it's really the different thing, because not even your spirit is aware of that.
Yeah, it's like taking a leap into the unknown.
Yeah, the leap of faith,
The leap
going into the abyss.
Yeah,
You
really
look
have
into
to
the
be.
abyss, and the abyss looks back at you.
Yeah, and in the
'Cause you
tarot you
reflect.
are the fool,
The fool,
entering that
yeah.
space, right? You
And
are
it's Uranus,
zero.
change.
Zero.
Yeah, zero, no shape, no
Nothing.
form. Yeah,
You come there naked and
no
you
energy,
have to
no
create,
archetype, no subconscious, no
because
conscious.
that's your first
Yeah.
form. It's not even a form.
Form, yeah.
It's your own space.
Because it's like, in that time, you realize you exist.
Mhm.
And right now, as a human, you be like, I'm a man. I'm tall, I'm short, I'm fat, I'm rich, I'm poor. But as a spirit, it's like, I am.
Yeah.
I exist, and that's just it. And then, as you create more shit and go into those things, you start to, oh, I'm this, I'm that, I'm this. No, but as a spirit, your first quote-unquote form
Mm-hmm.
is the most powerful, because
Yeah.
you just realize that you exist.
Yeah.
That's the most
exactly.
happiness, that's the most excitement,
Yeah.
that's the most powerful, that's the
Shit.
highest high.
Mm-hmm.
You just realize,
Yeah.
I exist.
Yeah.
And I can do anything.
Yeah.
I can be anything. So that's the zero, that's the fool, Uranus, change, the abyss, the unconscious, because in that time, it's not unconscious anymore.
Yeah.
But you as a spirit, you know it was unconscious.
Exactly.
That's why many people are afraid to be alone or
That's
afraid
why
of
there
death.
is that that's why
Yeah.
there is that pleasure,
Yeah.
because you really are surprised, you know?
Through,
You are really like, wow, this is
I exist.
yeah, this is new, this is fresh, and that is what many people try to reach with old mind states, with their already made up mind, in a sense, you know, so or used up mind. So always keep in mind that your most higher or most high space
Yeah, it's the most powerful
is
space.
the most powerful space, really. And that's why the indigenous people would be fucking most of the time, instead of, you know, building buildings and things like that, because that's like a really
It's a bit lower example, but
a
I
really
understand.
a really low example,
Because
but
it was not just fucking.
exactly,
It was like making music, clothing,
connecting and really
crystals
sharing
and gems.
really sharing their experiences,
Yeah, stories. Yeah,
stories,
wisdom.
sharing a testimony, and really
connecting with the
connecting.
horses and
Yeah.
with the eagles.
and creating stories about the esoteric.
It wasn't just fucking.
Exactly.
It was a lot of fucking as well.
It was a lot of fucking as
but
well.
it wasn't just fucking.
It was more of a esoteric fucking.
No, it was some physical fucking as well.
As
What you
well.
talking about?
I'm not saying not.
How you think we got here?
Exactly.
Through some fucking.
We did that first as spirits.
But, to finish the topic, in a quote-unquote normal world, there will not be such a degree of difference between conscious and subconscious. And the native people, the indigenous people of America, they also knew that.
Yeah.
That's why they would connect so much to the animals, because
Mhm.
to the animals, it's really like that. There is no difference between conscious and subconscious. It just is. Everything is.
Yeah,
They just
yeah.
experience both real
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
spiritual at the same
And
time.
that's what I'm thinking, like, through the subconscious, there is not like a conscious words that you can utilize fully to express fully your subconscious existence, right? Your subconscious awareness. But by you getting more in touch with all of the natures that surround you in your environment, you are also able to receive more interactions and more being more aware of your subconscious natures and your subconscious travels.
Yeah.
You know, so through all the dreams and through all the trips, or like
or you just have a sudden realization.
yeah, exactly. You get that. You can get a analogy with the horse, but you know what's
Yeah.
going on. It's not the horse, but it is the natures that
Yeah.
You interact with that create that certain feeling or that certain realization. So yeah, I think that that's how indigenous people especially unite very well and are able to see and acknowledge and speak on and sing about the subconscious natures with the conscious ones.
True.
So there is no separation, there is really a communion always going on. It's always in and out, always creating that manifestation through your spirituality.
Real shit. And we can't be too logical and too serious about our experiences, because
Yeah.
logic was created out of that.
Mm-hmm.
So logical can't process all of that, you know.
Yeah.
So we have to have a larger degree of awareness,
Mm-hmm.
aka awareness, using emotions, intuition,
Yeah.
things that we
Yeah.
quote unquote can't explain. We can, not just through the words
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and status that we are using it
Yeah.
right now.
Don't simply because that's a big mistake, don't simply rely on your math skills
True.
or your college degree and how much you have learned through all these years, through all the books you've read. In a sense, don't simply rely on that logical way to explain your world, because there will not be a time where you can use the words to fully explain your experience internally.
Yeah, real shit.
So always be open to create and bring something new.
Yeah. Okay, I think now I know. It was a great podcast.
Oh yes, it was.
And we're ready to finish.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for listening to the
Thank you
end.
so much.
I hope you guys enjoyed.
Mm-hmm.
I hope you guys felt our passion and
I
our
will.
uniqueness. And wait for more, because it's coming. Check the links in the description down below to have access to more content,
Mm-hmm.
both of mine and Daarya or Miss Daarya as well.
Yeah.
And we love you all.
Yeah. Thank you
Any
so
last
much.
words you want to say?
I wish you enjoy your amazing creativity, your amazing day, and just experience in general. And I really wish you continue focusing on your own experiences, on your own realizations, on your own spirituality. And just by you listening to this podcast already, already is a sign of your own ability to, firstly think for yourself and be able to expand on your experiences as a spirit beyond the body that you may be in right now, or beyond the mind that you might be using right now, but as well acknowledging the experiences that you go through physically as well, so you can know how to balance and really bring the right proportions into the circumstances and situations that you go through daily and inside. So we gladly appreciate you. Thank
Yeah.
you so much for watching,
For listening.
for listening as well.
Until the next time, follow your individuality to maintain your sanity. Be yourself and show to yourself and to the people and spirits around you that the best way to be is to be your goddamn self. Till the next time, EsotericCloudSurfer and
Daarya.
surfing out.
Bye.
See you soon.
Yeah.